Hello, welcome to the Via Stoica podcast. This is the Stoic Quotes edition. Today we're going to look at a quote by Epictetus. But if you're looking for more quotes, you can always go to viastoica.com, where we have hundreds of quotes by Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, all verified, authentic, with the references there for you to use for inspiration. Or if you want to use them for your writing, please go ahead. A reference would be nice, of course. A link to the website. But if you're looking for any other support, you can go to viastoica.com as well for a free consultation for our coaching. Again, check also out our episodes on Tuesday. And if you've liked these episodes, the podcast, what we're doing, please like, subscribe, and give a rating if you feel like it. But we're going to delve right into this important quote, important message from Epictetus, and he doesn't mince words, right? For everyone who's looking for purpose, for meaning, for how to act, how to behave, and not just in specific situations as work or relationships, but in life in general. This quote really has an impact and really can help you along the way. So he goes, in my edition, he says, first, tell yourself what sort of man you want to be, then act accordingly in all you do. Now, there's some different translations as well, and we're going to look into the quote itself in a little bit. But we have another translation that says, first, say to yourself what you want to be, and then do what you have to do. We have another one. First, tell yourself what kind of person you want to be, and then act accordingly in everything you do. Now, these are kind of the similar, right? And the last one, first, tell yourself what you want to be, then act your part accordingly. Now, in this discourse here, in my edition, he gives an example of an athlete, right? Maybe a long distance runner or a speed thrower or whatever. If you choose to follow a certain profession like an athlete, you have a certain diet, you have different things you have to take care of, your lifestyle. It has to match with you preparing for a certain competition. For example, the Olympic Games, right? Those are every 4 years, and you have to live those 4 years long strict regime plan, all that stuff, and then you have to do that every time, right? But this also goes for us, for everybody, for human beings as well, to make sure that we know how we want to live, and then we need to act them accordingly. And there's a second part of this discourse that is really important here as well. He says, like, if we do not refer each of our actions to some standard, we shall be acting at random. If to an improper standard, we shall fail utterly. So why is this important? So we have two parts of this quote. Why is this important to have this standard, to know who we are and how we want to live? Because otherwise we'd be just acting randomly. That's what he says. But Epictetus says, if we don't know who we want to be, what kind of person we are, what values, what principles we have, how can we act in a consistent way throughout our life? And all the actions and all the things that we do, again, with work, with our relationships, with whatever we undertake, how can we then live consistently? We'll just be acting at random, whatever the moment it tells us to do, and we will just influenced by externals, our emotions, our feelings, and have them decide what to do. And the Stoics are very clear at how we need to live and what we need to use to make the right decisions. We have reason and logic. We have the virtues, nature, to live in accordance with nature. So when we ask ourselves what kind of person we want to be, forget about the ambitions with work. I want to be wealthy. I want to have all these possessions. I want to have this. I want to have a family. All of these external things are not up to us. They're up to fate. And hopefully we can get them, the things that you want. But that doesn't guarantee that you're going to live a good and happy life. But if we can decide what kind of person we want to be and we can act according to that in every situation, then we're going to live a consistent life. And that means we're going to live a peaceful life and a joyous life because we are prepared. We know how to act in most of these situations. We know what to do when something happens that we might not have been prepared for. Because we are preparing ourselves for all the eventualities by giving ourselves that strong foundation of who we are. So again, the first question that you have to ask, and again, we can help you with that. If you need some help, you can book a free consultation to speak with us for any of our coaches, and we can help you set up some values, some principles, and also give you some guidelines on how to apply those things. And that's not easy, but we've got to start with asking ourselves those questions. You can use Stoicism, the philosophy, as a guideline, or some other philosophy or way of life that works for you. But unless we start to ask ourselves that question, who am I? What kind of person do I want to be? How can we expect of ourselves to live in a specific way that is good and that is consistent? So first start with that. Reflect on it, meditate, do whatever that works for you. Write it out. Set yourself a list of values and principles, but then adhere to it. And that's the difficult part. We can all talk a lot. right? But we have to do it then in everything that we do. And the great thing about it is once we have that foundation set, we will become more aware of our values and principles and how to act, that whenever we get into new situations, we might not do it at the beginning, but we can then look back and say, like, this is what I should have done. Next time I'm going to do better. Next time I'm going to improve. And when we've done the right thing, we can look back and like, yes, this is where I really applied it. And look at the results. I have acted the way I wanted to act, and that's given me peace of mind, calm, and also a sense of joy that I've lived the way I had to live. But we have to apply it. And by applying it, it will make it easier. I've noticed that along the way as well. I'm not good and I'm not perfect at any way. I still have a long way to go, but it's getting better. And especially in the most crucial moments, in the moments when it does get difficult, in those moments when you do struggle and not know what to do or where to go, that's when these kind of foundational principles will help you. They will give you that support that you need, because you can take a step back from the emotions that might have led you to a path that might not have been valuable for you. But now you can take that step back and think like, what do I need to do? What are my values and principles? What is expected of me? What am I expecting of myself? What is a society and nature expecting me to do? And the Stoics, they bring it down to these three principles. Use your reason and logic. The virtues will guide you and live in accordance with nature. It sounds simple, and you can use them as a simple guide when you are in those difficult moments, but the practical application is difficult. So then also show yourself compassion. When you make a mistake, realize that, yes, I've made a mistake, but I'm working, I'm making progress, I'm trying to be better. And that's where these standards, where these values, these principles, knowing who you are, can give you that sense of direction, can show you the growth. It will help you to see where you were and where you are right now, and where you're going, where you wish to be. So keep that in mind when you are working on yourself and when you are struggling. But first, start with that principle of figuring out what kind of person you want to be. And then we go back to that quote. I'll just repeat it one last time. First, tell yourself what sort of man you want to be, then act accordingly in all you do. And that's the vital thing. That is super important. Again, if you need help with any of this, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you. Listen to the podcast, to the other episodes. If you like them, subscribe and leave a rating. That really helps us. But for now, it is really important to go and ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to be? And then act on it. It's a very important question to ask. So go out, do it, reflect on it, whatever works for you. But please investigate and check who you are and then live it. Thank you very much. Hope to see you in the next episode. And thank you.